At McDonald's, we make mornings brighter. Say you want a smooth start to your day, then a flavorful small caramel frappe for $2 is perfect. And to sweeten your AM routine, when you buy 5, get 1 free with our app. And if you're off to work, pair your frappe with a sweet and savory sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles. It gets the job done. We'll make your morning brighter with a small frappe for just $2. It'll go great with a tasty sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles. Present participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. McD app download and registration required.
Good morning, everybody. Jim Feist and Hank Goldberg here in Las Vegas. Hank, how are you doing today?
I came out pretty good yesterday. I had the right side and really sweated it out there at the end because they went 5 minutes without scoring a basket in the fourth quarter. They really missed Thompson. Or when he goes out of the game, they missed his shooting and his defense and everything about him. And if he can't play, although he says he'll be able to go, and they've got a few days off, but still, without him, they're in big trouble. I think, although they're going home, and they keep coming up with guys, but still, and he's a key element to their team. Because he's a great mid-range shooter. He in the first quarter, he really got him into the lead with his shooting. And I guess Curry wasn't feeling well yesterday, and he played anyway. And they won anyway. And Iguodala really saved them at the end. But Thompson is a key player, and I don't know how far they can go without him, without Durant. They're saying now Durant might not be ready to play until Game 4, if that. And they were able to, they were able to defend Siakam. He didn't do anything yesterday. They finally defended him, and they got into foul trouble, and they had enough of a lead that they were able to hang on. But they were 5 minutes without scoring a basket in the fourth quarter.
When they go back to the third quarter, the Golden State came out with that pressure defense and they ran off 20 straight points.
18.
It was incredible, and that turned the game totally around. At the end of the game, Boogie Cousins played really, really well. He played a lot of minutes, a lot more than what they expected to play him. He played well. Bogut got some shots in, but they are totally banged up. The nurse, the head coach for Toronto, made a great move, doing the box and one on Curry, and that really shut them down. But Cook, nobody expected Cook to play as well as he did. So there were a lot of little...
Oh, I do. Cook is always good when he comes in. And he's a very effective guy off the bench. He's been good throughout the playoffs. That didn't surprise me. But he didn't do anything in the last 5 minutes either. But, the game started to turn around at the end of the first half when they were down, I guess, as many as 13 points, and they came back and close to within 5 at the end of the half. And that's when Curry had turned it on a little bit, and Cook had come in and helped them out. And when they closed to within 5, I think, and then they came in at the beginning of the second half and ran off all those points.
Yeah, it was exciting. A lot of streaks in the game, and hell of a game. I'll tell you, for them to steal a game in Toronto with their health issues was quite incredible. But that just shows you the resilience of that team. They just have quality players, quality coaching, and they pull off stuff other teams don't get away with. The health report over the next 2 days, they don't play again until Wednesday. The Circa, which opened up this week, that's a brand new casino sportsbook here in Las Vegas. They opened the game 6.5, Golden State 6.5. We're seeing money on Toronto down to 5.5, and that's probably first of all, it could be a close game anyway. But with the injury issues that nobody really knows what's going to happen with the Warriors, that's probably why a little bit of the sharp money has come in on Toronto for Game 3.
Well, the injuries, I think, make it a must-play on Toronto, depending on... Thompson's key. If Thompson can't go, that number's going to drop.
Oh, yeah. He's not only a great scorer, but he's a great defensive player. He's a great guard. I don't think he gets enough credit. On a team that there's a lot of credit to go around, and that's one of the
He's only going to be in the Hall of Fame. That's enough credit.
Well, yes, we could have a debate on what the sports writers did to him in that All-Star vote, but that cost him some money. It's a crazy situation. Anything, the Yankees pretty much blew a game yesterday. Their one ball player, Frazier, just absolutely couldn't do anything right defensively and gave up a lot of they just made a lot of mistakes and really helped Boston win that game.
Well, Boston was due to win the game. I mean, the Yankees had won the first two in the series. The Yankees, they got to win. They got to lose sometimes to the Red Sox.
Yeah, well, anyway, there's a lot of follow-up on Frazier in that issue, but baseball is really heating up. Some of the pitchers, the Angels had an unusual situation. They have a game today in Chicago. They were in Seattle yesterday. They had a makeup game. They got to fly across the country, play in Chicago, and then, just for the one game, and then they go back to the West Coast. It's a very unusual scheduling spot to that a lot of travel to play one game. Lester has not been pitching well lately, but he is a quality pitcher, and he gets off track once in a while, but he usually bounces back. And the Angels are coming in with a opener, Bedrosian, and Kay will probably come in after that. But that's an interesting situation for the Angels.
Well, Minnesota's been really hot. They've been playing very well, and Houston had a good series against Oakland, and Houston is, are on their way to another great season. So, but Minnesota has been red hot, and they're playing extremely well. And the Dodgers, they just keep winning. So, as far as Frazier's concerned, he has been a big cog in the Yankee lineup with his hitting. And if he costs them a game that doesn't come close to bouncing off all the games he's helped them win with his bat and his fielding going into yesterday, I'm not about to knock him.
Well, there'll be some. He'll bounce back. I mean, he's a good player. Had a bad defensive game, but he'll bounce back. But the Yankees have been a miracle team with all the injuries they've had. Talking about injuries with Golden State, the Yankees have outdone themselves in that department. They've had 12, 13 players out hurt for the first part of this season, and they're going to have a juggling act to deal with when all those players start to come back. And the players that have been playing well for them, how Booney's going to juggle all that, and that's going to be interesting how he manages that situation.
The hockey series, they had St. Louis had a couple of guys out, the defensemen, but still Boston really crushed them after St. Louis got even. Boston got their game back and beat them 7-2. They have another game today. They don't get a lot of time to breathe in those series. They play every other day, but Boston looks really strong in that final round. I had the under in that game the other night, where the game was 2-2 at the end of the first period, and the game still went under because they didn't score in the second and third periods. So I'll tell you, I had Patrick
Cantley.
The golf Cantley at 15-1 to win the Memorial, and he came from 5 strokes down to win it. So I was happy watching the golf yesterday as he had a heck of a round. And it was nice to see, not just because I had him at 15-1, but because of his relationship with Nicklaus. And he's a really good golfer. And I had bet him in the PGA, and he's always a good play. He's a very consistent golfer. But 15-1 was a nice price on him, so I was happy.
Well, I guess so. That's a tremendous win. He's a good player. He's good in college, and he was College Player of the Year, and that's when Nicklaus met him, and they've developed a pretty good friendship over the years. And he came through and won the Memorial, Jack's tournament. So that was cool to watch. Another sport, going back to basketball, the WNBA. We have a Las Vegas team here called the Aces. And they were a 5.5 favorite yesterday over Connecticut, and they looked like they had they were in the right track to win that game. They lost the third quarter by 3 points, and then they lost the fourth quarter by 6 points, only scoring 13 points, 31 points in the second half they scored. They just ran out of gas. I don't know what happened there, but they certainly did not perform well in the second half of that game and lost the game 80-74 to Connecticut.
They've lost 2 or 3 games in a row.
They have. They lost to Phoenix in a very close game the other night. I think it was 82-80, and now they lost this one. So they've got a lot of potential, but they're certainly not putting it together so far. But that's kind of the sports world. Now we got horse racing this week, Hank, and I know you're on top of that.
Yeah, the Belmont is this week, and the horse I liked in the Preakness, who did not run very well in the Preakness, is going to run in the Belmont now, the late entry, and he's. I question why he's running, and I guess he's got New York ownership, and they want to run in the Belmont. But he didn't run a step in the Preakness. He was a big disappointment. And they've got 9 or 10 horses entered, and then there's 2 strong favorites and a bunch of horses. That's the way the Belmont shapes up. But the big races, the races of high interest are going to come later on in the summer. The Travers will be the big 3-year-old race. That's at Saratoga on the 24th of August. You got the big race at Monmouth is early this year. It's the third or fourth weekend in the Haskell, which means that horses can run in the Haskell and also run in the Travers, which means you'll probably be seeing the horse that got DQ'd running in both of those races. So it'll be an interesting 3-year-old summer. And the big race at Del Mar, the Pacific Classic, is August 17th. So you got those back-to-back weekends. So August will be a big race for the 3-year-olds. Belmont doesn't have a lot of interest, to be honest with you, because horses don't want to, like a horse like Owendale, they decided not to run him in the Belmont because they're going to send him to the Ohio Derby instead. Horsemen are reluctant to go the mile and a half if they don't have a lot at stake. And so you got, they really have to, but I'll tell you something, the card at Belmont on Saturday, I think they have 5 Grade 1 stakes. So the undercard is probably better than the Belmont Stakes itself. So it's going to be a big day of racing at Belmont. They'll have a huge crowd.
That's great. Hank, just out of curiosity, because I don't follow horse racing that much, how many mile-and-a-half races are there in the United States?
Well, most of them are on grass.
Okay.
Mile-and-a-half races on dirt are very rare. That's the only major stakes race at a mile-and-a-half.
Do you prefer grass races over dirt, or vice versa?
No, it's just like good competitive racing. I like distance racing. It's interesting.
Well, yeah, of course. Of course. Well,
that's the real test.
In Europe, there's a lot of horse racing in Europe. Do they run more grass or dirt races over there?
Grass. All the big races are on grass.
Okay. Interesting. Is the purpose of that to save the horses, or is it better? What is the reason for that?
It's the tradition. They've always run grass racing there. The grass courses, they have 2 grass courses on all the big tracks, so they keep them both fresh, and they're in good shape. So, and the horses are bred for it over there.
Right. Well, Hank, if there's nothing else to close off for today, you got anything else you want to add?
No, not really. Tonight Boston will be playing again at St. Louis. See if St. Louis can bounce back, but they're up against it, I think. And we've got till Wednesday for another basketball game. Got to keep an eye on those injuries.
Yeah, it'll be the hospital report on this event, and then we'll go to once this is all over, we'll go to the off season and all the player moves that everybody's going to be talking about, because in the NBA that is the big off season story year to year. So everybody go to JimFeist.com. Hank and I will be posting our plays there, and thanks again, Hank. I appreciate your time.
All right, Jim. Have a good day.
The all-new Toyota RAV4 asks, what if? What if your ride was refined and rugged at the same time? Introducing the all-new RAV4 Hybrid. 208 combined horsepower and standard all-wheel drive make it the most powerful RAV4. Plus, with its head-turning style and breakaway speed, it's bound to change the way you think of a hybrid. The all-new RAV4 Hybrid. Toyota. Let's go places. Horsepower. Ratings achieved using the required premium unleaded gasoline with an octane rating of 91 or higher. Premium fuel is not used. Performance will decrease.
Hear that? That's the sweet sound of Minute Maid slushies at McDonald's, turning up your summer with every sip, slurp, and ah.
Head to McDonald's and enjoy one of 3 new slushie flavors like Fruit Punch or Sweet Peach. Get a medium for just $1.50 and pair it with our crispy world-famous fries at participating McDonald's for a limited time.